Welcome back, dear students. In today's lecture, I am Mr. V.D. Jadhav, working as an assistant professor in the Department of Chemistry of KRT Arts, BH Commerce, and AM Science, popularly known as KTHM College, Nasik. Student, in the last lecture, we discussed syllabus of our subject, that is Introduction to Solid State of Matter. In today's lecture, we start our first chapter, Bonding in Solids and Electronics Properties. Before that, we recollect the concept. That concept you already know in 11th standard, 12th standard, and UG level. Also, some point in this chapter, they are you already know, that is crystalline solids, amorphous solids, types of solids, and introduction of solid state of matter, etc. Let us start our today's topics, that is the solid state. The vast majority of solid substances like high temperature superconductors, biocompatible plastics, silicon, chips, etc. are destined to play an ever expanding role in future development of science. From our earlier studies, we know that liquids and gases are called fluids because of their ability to flow. The fluidity in both of these states, liquid and gases, is due to the fact that the molecules are free to move about. On the contrary, the constituent particles in solid have fixed position and can only oscillate about their mean positions. This explains the rigidity in solids. This property depends upon the nature of constituents particles and the binding forces operating between them. The correlation between structure and properties helps in the discovery of new solid materials with desired properties. For example, carbon nanotubes are new materials that have potential to provide material that are tougher than steel, lighter than aluminum, and have more conductive property than copper. Such materials may play an expanding role in future development of science and society. Some other materials which are expected to play an important role in future are high temperature superconductors, magnetic materials, biodegradable polymers for packaging, biocompliant solids for surgical implants, etc. Thus, the study of this state becomes more important in the present scenario. In this unit, we shall discuss different possible arrangement of particles resulting in several types of structures and explore why different arrangement of structural units lend different properties to solids. We will also learn how these properties get modified due to the structural imperfections or by the presence of impurities in minute amounts. General characteristics General characteristics of solid state. You have learned that matter can exist in three states, namely solid, liquid, and gas. Under a given set of conditions of temperature and pressure, which of these would be the most stable state of a given substance depend upon the net effect of two opposing factors. These are intermolecular forces intermolecular forces which tend to keep the molecules or atoms or ions closer. And the next factor is the thermal energy. Thermal energy which tends to keep them apart by making them move faster. At a sufficiently low temperature, the thermal energy is low and intermolecular forces brings them so close that they cling to one another and occupy fixed positions. These can still oscillate about their mean positions and the substance exists in solid state. The following are the characteristics properties of the solid state. First, they have definite mass, volume and shape. Second, intermolecular distance are short. Third, intermolecular forces are strong. Fourth, their constituent particles such as atoms, molecules or ions have fixed position and can only oscillate about their mean positions. And fifth characteristics of solid state, they are incompressible and rigid. Next, amorphous and crystalline solids. Solids can be classified as crystalline or amorphous on the basis of the nature of order present in the arrangement of their constituent particles. Crystalline solids usually consist of a large number of small crystals, each of them having a definite characteristic geometrical shape. The arrangement of constituent particles such as atoms, molecules or ions in a crystal is ordered and repetitive in three dimensions. If we observe the pattern in one region of the crystal, we can predict accurately the position of particle in any other region of the crystal. However, far they may be from the place of observation, thus crystal has a long range order, which means that there is a regular pattern of arrangement of particles which repeats itself periodically over the entire crystal. For example, sodium chloride and quartz are typical example of crystalline solids. Glass, rubber and many plastics do not form crystals when their liquids solidify on cooling. These are called amorphous solids. The term amorphous comes from the Greek word amorphos, meaning no form. After cooling, they not form a crystalline solids. When liquid when liquids not form crystalline solid on cooling. The arrangement of constituent particles such as atoms, molecules or ions in such a solid, that is amorphous solid, has only short range order. In such an arrangement, a regular and periodically repeating pattern is observed over a short distances only. Regular patterns are scattered and in between the arrangement is disordered. The structures of quartz is crystalline and quartz glass is amorphous. This structure of quartz and quartz glass is shown in figure 1.1. Here in that figure, two-dimensional structure of quartz. This is crystalline structure, order arrangement, and this is amorphous structure of quartz glass. Here not order arrangement. While the two structures are almost identical, in the case of amorphous quartz glass, there is no long range order. In case of amorphous quartz glass, there is no long range order. The structure of amorphous solids is similar to that of liquids. Due to the differences in the arrangement of the constituent particles, the two types of solid differ in their properties. Crystalline solids have a sharp melting point. At a characteristic temperature, they melt abruptly and become liquid. On the other hand, amorphous solids soften, melt, and start flowing over a range of temperature and can be molded and blown into various shapes. Amorphous solid can be molded and blown into various shapes. Amorphous solids have the same structural features as liquids and are conveniently regarded as extremely viscous liquids. They may become crystalline at some temperature. Some glass objects from ancient civilizations are found to become milky in appearance because of some crystallizations like liquids. Amorphous solids have a tendency to flow. Amorphous solids have a tendency to flow through various to flow through to flow though amorphous solids have a tendency to flow very slowly. Therefore, sometimes these are called pseudo solids or supercooled liquids. Amorphous solids are isotropic in nature. Their properties such as mechanical strength, refractive index and electrical conductivity etc. are same in all directions, means they are isotropic in nature. It is because there is a no long range order in them and arrangement of particle is not definite along all the directions. Hence, the overall arrangement becomes equivalent in all directions. Therefore, value of any physical property would be same along any directions. Crystalline solids are anisotropic in nature. That means some of their physical properties like electrical resistance or refractive index show different values when measured along different directions in the same crystals. These arises from different arrangement of particle in different directions. This is illustrated in figure 1.2. This figure shows a simple two-dimensional pattern of arrangement of two kinds of atoms. Mechanical properties such as resistance to shearing stress might be quite different in two directions indicated in the figure. Here mechanical property are different in two directions. This is AB direction, this is CD direction. Deformation in CD direction displaces rho which has two different types of atoms while in AB directions rows made of one type of atoms are displaced. The differences between the crystalline solids and amorphous solids are summarized in table 1.1. Here difference between crystalline solids and amorphous solids. This is the property of both solids. Here first shape. In case of crystalline solids, definite characteristic geometrical shape. In case of amorphous solids, irregular shape. Here melting point. Crystalline solids melt at a sharp and characteristic temperature. Amorphous solids gradually soften over a range of temperature. Cleavage property. In case of crystalline solid, when cut with sharp edge tools, they split into two pieces and the newly generated surfaces are plain and smooth. Amorphous solids, when cut with a sharp edged tool, they cut into two pieces with irregular surfaces. Heat of fusion. In case of crystalline solids, they have definite and characteristics heat of fusion. In amorphous solids, they do not have definite enthalpy of fusion. Anisotropy nature. Here crystalline solids is anisotropic in nature and amorphous solids is isotropic in nature. Nature of crystalline solid, it is true solid, it is crystalline solid is true solids and amorphous solid is pseudo solids or supercooled liquids. Order, next property, order in arrangement of constituent particle. In case of crystalline solids, long range order. In case of amorphous solids, only short range order. Besides crystalline and amorphous solids, there are some solids which apparently appear amorphous but have microcrystalline structure. These are called polycrystalline solids. Metals often occur in polycrystalline conditions. Individual crystals are randomly oriented, so a metallic sample may appear to be isotropic even though a single crystal is anisotropic. Amorphous solids are useful materials. Glass, rubber, and plastics find many applications in our daily lives. Amorphous silicones is one of the best photovoltaic material available for conversion of sunlight into electricity. Few important questions in point of exam are may be asked for this amorphous and crystalline solids and introduction of solids, and the first point that is recollect the previous concept. The first question, why are solid rigid? Second question, why do solids have a definite volume? Third question, classify the following as amorphous or crystalline solids: polyurethane, naphthalene, benzoic acid, Teflon, potassium nitrate, cellophane, polyvinyl chloride, fiber, glass, copper, etc. And fourth question, refractive index of solid is observed to have the same value along all directions. Comment on the nature of the solid. It is isotropic, anisotropic. They say that refractive index of a solid is observed to have the same value along all directions. Comment on the nature of this solid. And again they ask, would it show cleavage property? I already discussed all these theory part, that is isotropic solids, anisotropic solids, nature of solids, types of solids, introduction. Next, that is classification of crystalline solids. Here, classification of crystalline solids. In section 1.2, that is previously, we have learned about amorphous substances and that they have only a short range order. However, most of the solid substances are crystalline in nature. For example, all the metallic elements like iron, copper, and silver, non-metallic elements like sulfur, phosphorus, and iodine, and compounds like sodium chloride, zinc sulfide, and naphthalene form crystalline solids. Crystalline solids can be classified into various ways. The method depends on the purpose in hand. Here we will classify crystalline solids on the basis of nature of intermolecular forces or bonds that hold the constituent particle together. These are first van der Waals forces, second ionic bonds, third covalent bonds, and fourth metallic bonds. On this basis, crystalline solids are classified into four categories: molecular, ionic, metallic, and covalent solids. Let us now learn about these categories one by one. First, molecular solids. Molecules are the constituent particles of molecular solids. These are further subdivided into the three categories. First, nonpolar molecular solids. Nonpolar molecular solids comprise either atoms, for example, argon and helium, or the molecules formed by nonpolar solvent, or the molecules formed by nonpolar covalent bonds, for example, hydrogen H2, chlorine Cl2 and iodine I2. In these solids, the atoms or molecules are held by weak dispersion forces or London forces, about which you have learned, that is London forces or dispersion forces, in class 11. These solids are soft. These solids are soft, that is nonpolar molecular solids are soft and non-conductors of electricity. They have low melting points and are usually in liquid or gaseous state at room temperature and pressure. Next type of molecular solids is a polar molecular solids. The molecules of substances like HCl, hydrochloric acid, sulfur dioxide, SO2, etc. are formed by polar covalent bonds. These molecules in such solids are held together by relatively stronger dipole-dipole interactions. These solids are soft and non-conductors of electricity. Their melting points are higher than those of non-polar molecular solids, yet most of these are gaseous or liquids under room temperature and pressure. Solid SO2, sulfur dioxide, and solid ammonia NH3 are some example of such a polar molecular solids. And third type of molecular solids is hydrogen bonded molecular solids. The molecules of such solids contain polar covalent bonds between hydrogen and fluorine, oxygen or nitrogen atoms. Strong hydrogen bonding binds molecule of such solids like water, that is water in ice. They are non-conductors of electricity. Generally, they are volatile liquids or soft solids under room temperature and pressure. Next type of crystalline solids is ionic solids. Ions are the constituent particles of ionic solids. Such solids are formed by the three-dimensional arrangement of cations and anions bound by strong Coulombic, that is electrostatic forces. These solids are hard and brittle in nature. They have high melting and boiling points. Since the ions are not free to move about, they are electrical insulators in the solid state. However, in molten state or when dissolved in water, the ions become free to move about and they conduct electricity. Third type of crystalline solids is metallic solids. Metals are orderly collection of positive ions surrounded by any held together, surrounded by and held together by a sea of electrons, that is negative charge. These electrons are mobile and are evenly spread out throughout the crystal. Each metal atom contributes one or more electrons towards this sea of mobile electrons. These free and mobile electrons are responsible for high electrical and thermal conductivity of metals. When an electric field is applied, these electrons flow through the network of positive ions. Similarly, when heat is supplied to one portion of a metal, the thermal energy is uniformly spread throughout by free electrons. Another important characteristics of metals is their luster and color in certain cases. This is, this is also due to the presence of free electrons in them. Metals are highly malleable and ductile. You know the properties of malleable and ductileness of metals. That is, what is mean by malleable and ductile properties? That is, they are incompressible and rigid. These all are the metallic solids. And last is covalent or network solids. A wide variety of crystalline solids of non-metals result from the formation of covalent bonds between adjacent atoms throughout the crystal. They are also called giant molecules. Covalent bonds are strong and directional in nature. Therefore, atoms are held very strongly at their position. Such solids are very hard and brittle. They have extremely high melting points and may even decompose before melting. They are insulators and they do not conduct electricity. For example, diamond. Here in this figure 1.3, network structure of diamond. They are hard and do not conduct electricity. They are also hard and brittle and extremely high melting point and may even decompose before melting. They are insulator and do not conduct electricity. And also one of the example of this network structure of covalent or network solids is the silicon carbide. This is also one of the example of this covalent or network solid, that is silicon carbide. Although graphite in figure 1.4, this is structure of graphite, here this is structure of diamond, also belong to this class of crystal. This graphite is also belong to this covalent or network solids, but it is soft. This graphite is soft, diamond is hard, and it is conductor of electricity. Graphite is conductor of electricity. This is exceptional case. Its exceptional properties are due to this exceptional properties in the graphite is due to its typical structure, its structural variation. Due to this, they are soft and they are conductor of electricity. Here carbon atoms, these are the carbon atoms. The blue color round show round indicate carbon. The carbon atoms are arranged in different layers. This is layer like structure. The carbon atom are arranged in different layer and each atom is covalently bonded to three of its neighboring atom in the same layer. This each atom is covalently bonded to three of each neighboring atoms in the same layer. The fourth valence electron of each atom is present between different layers and is free to move about. These free electrons make graphite a good conductor of electricity. Different layers can slide one over the other. This makes graphite a soft solid and good solid lubricant. Because of this layer structure, they are soft solid and good lubricant. The different properties of the four types of solid are listed in this table. Before that, we discuss this diamond structure and this graphite structure. Here, this is a three-dimensional solid structure of diamond. This is a network structure, and this structure of graphite is layer-like structure. This is two-dimensional structure. Here, the bond length between carbon-carbon in diamond is 154 picometer. In nearer carbon of this graphite, carbon-carbon bond length is 141.5 picometer, and this layer carbon, the carbon-carbon bond length is 340 picometer. Diamond is hard, then graphite is soft. Diamond is a bad conductor of electricity, graphite is a good conductor of electricity. All these are the very important point in this type of solid, that is covalent or network solid. Let us see next the table here. Types of solid: constituent particles, bonding, attractive forces, examples, physical nature, electrical conductivity, and melting point. Given. First, molecular solids. They are already discussed three types: non-polar molecular solid, polar molecular solid, and hydrogen bonded molecular solids. Their constituent particles are molecules. Bonding and attractive forces. There is a dispersion or London forces are present. Also dipole-dipole interactions, and in hydrogen bonded molecular solids there is a hydrogen bonding forces is present. Example of these non-polar molecular solids: argon carbon tetrachloride. Here polar molecular solid HCl SO2. Also in non-polar H2I2CO2. Hydrogen bonded molecular solids, example is water. In case of ice, here physical nature are given: soft molecular solid, soft, and third hydrogen bonding molecular solid is hard, physical nature. Electrical conductivity, insulator, all these three are insulator. Melting point very low for non-polar molecular solids, low for polar molecular solids, and also low for hydrogen bonded molecular solids. Next types of solid, second type is ionic solids. Here constituent particle is ions, and attractive forces or bonding forces is Coulombic or electrostatic forces. Example of these ionic solids is sodium chloride NaCl, magnesium oxide MgO, manganese oxide MgO, zinc sulfide ZnS, and calcium fluoride CaF2. Physical nature: hard but brittle. Electrical conductivity: insulators in solids state but conductors in molten state and in aqueous solution. Melting point is high. And third type of solids is a metallic solids. Positive ions in a sea of electrons. Constituent particles is positive ions in a sea of electrons. Bonding or attractive forces, metallic bonding. Example: iron, copper, silver, and magnesium. Physical nature: hard but malleable and ductile. Electrical conductivity: conductors in solid state, and melting point fairly high. Fourth type of solid is a covalent or network solid. Here the constituent particle is atoms. Bonding and attractive forces, covalent bonding is present. Example: quartz SiO2, silicon carbide SiC, silicon carbide, carbon in diamond and AIN carbon in graphite. These are the examples. Physical nature, diamond is hard, graphite is soft. Here for exceptional cases in graphite structure because of layer like structure. And electrical conductivity, here quartz, diamond are insulators, and AIN carbon graphite is conductor. This is exceptional case. And melting point, all have covalent or network solids have very high melting point. These are the all today's lecture, that is types of solids. They in amorphous and crystalline solids, introduction of solid state of matter, types of matter, all are introductory part, and starting of this chapter. Now I will stop here. Thank you.